Hello guys, in this tutorial we'll be looking at how to send information from a user form to the database we created in the last video. We put in the username, the password from the form. Like I said earlier, the user ID comes from the auto increment, while the date range comes from the timestamp. Alright, let's look at the code and putting things in perspective. Now I'm going to come in here and put in a chunk of code for that. Alright, the first thing you do while sending information to a database is to connect to the database. Then when you have connected to the database, you can prepare form values. That's, you need to get the information coming from the username and the password. Then once you've done that, you have to prepare an SQL query. The SQL query is the structured query language for communicating with databases. We say SQL query, and if it is successful, we're going to put out an info there or redirect. If successful, we redirect. If failed, it will tell us it failed. Alright, let's take the first one, which is connecting to the celebrities pack database. And the first thing I'm going to do is to come in here and you create a variable. I'm going to call it $CON, and I'm going to use the PHP MySQLi function, MySQLi connect to the database. The first thing is the server, localhost. In a real website uploaded or hosted, you need to put in your host database server here, and then you put in the user. The default user of my localhost computer is root, and I'm not using any password. But when you are doing a real world project, you need a password. I'm going to put the name of my database. Is the name of the database celebrities pack. And in order to be sure, most times it is good to have everything written correctly. You can copy and paste it in here. Alright, and when you have that settled, once you have connected, you can prepare form values. And before you do that, you need to check whether the user clicked the form. So to say if it's set $_post, like I said earlier on, I'm using $_post because the method of my form is post, what I have here. Then I'm going to say post, come in here, and I'm going to call on the register button. This is the button, the submit button. Register with the name register. I'm going to say register. Alright, and come in here and gather in the form values. Okay, I'm going to say a variable username with the value $_post username, alright, and password is equal to $_post password. Alright, Very simple. And when I have this, next thing I have to do is to prepare my SQL query for this. So I'm going to come in here and say $SQL. You can use any variable name at all. You can choose to use query, you can choose to use whatever. And I'm going to say $SQL is equal to, I'm going to write an SQL statement, insert into, now I'm going to put the table name. Now what's our table name? Our table name is TBL users. So TBL users is the name of our table which we created inside the Celebrities pack. It is important to note that you don't store information in a database, you store information in the table of a database. So we're not going to be using the database name, we're not inserting into the database, we're inserting into the table of the database. So I'm going to use the name TBL users. Alright, and I'm going to say, alright, I've got it here. Call in the columns I want to put information into. I want to put information in username and password. I'm going to omit user ID and date range because the database server will do that. If you were in the last video, you will understand why. Auto increment and timestamp will take care of these two. Alright, so let's focus on username and password. Alright, so I'm going to say username and password. Okay, I'm going to supply values. It's good to write SQL statements in capital letter to differentiate them from the normal PHP code. So I'm going to call in the username variable, but I'm going to put it in single quotes. You say $username and password, and finally I'm going to use an end of line statement, semicolon. Now we need to know whether this is successful. Coming out here, you say if $SQL was successful, then we can direct this user to go and log in. Okay, so we just put the header location and say index.php, which is where we have our login page. Go and log in. Alright, cool. Now check out everything we have here. We should be able to send information into our database. So we're going to go and test it out. Okay, I'll save. After saving, I'm going to go in here and be sure there is nothing in here. Okay, so let's now try and put something in there. Okay, I'm going to say a friend of mine, Vitalis. Yeah. Vitalis, password, blah, blah. Sign. Okay, now it was able to sign up and bring us to the index page, which is the login. So let's go and find out whether it really sent the information before bringing us to the login page. Very important. So I'm going to come here and say browse. When I browse and it says empty result set, then we have an issue. So although it went through, it didn't put the information as we have stated it should. Alright, so I'm going to come back in here. Look at what I have. Now I made an omission. When I write an SQL statement, I have to run the code before it works. So I'm going to come in here and say run query. Very important. I'm going to come in here and say run. You can remember, you can use any name of your choice. And I'm introducing another MySQLi command, which is MySQLi query. Okay. Now I'm going to call the connection. In other words, I'm saying computer, go and use Celebrities Pack. So I'm going to use connection to Celebrities Pack, and the query that I'm running is this SQL here. Let me say $SQL. Okay. And instead of using if $SQL, I'm going to say if run. So if we were able to run it, it should tell us this. Okay. Now I'm going to just come in here and try to register again. My friend Vitalis. I'm just going to put anything in here this time around. Anything. Okay. Now let's come in here. Browse. Vitalis anything. Now this is a little bit easy if you understand how PHP and MySQL interlinks with one another. If you find out in here that what we did included just creating variables for each of the information coming through our form fields, the password and the name, Vitalis, and then password, anything. Now you find out that the first thing we did was to connect to the database, localhost, root, Celebrities Pack, and then we ensured with a set that the button, the submit button, was submitted before we begin to collect the username and the password, and then we insert into the TBL users, which is the table created inside the Celebrities Pack. I said earlier on that you don't insert into database. You can't insert into database. You insert into the table of the database. So I believe that with this you have learned through this video. So I'm just going to do one last posting. I'm going to say Harry J. Jesus, and I'm going to say my Lord, I love Jesus, signing. Ooh boy. But let's come in here, look at this. Alright. Missed something. I'm just going to go back. Register. I wasn't on the register page. Alright. I used the login page thinking I was on the. Okay, I'm going to say sign in. Alright. Sign up. I'm going to come in here. Browse. Okay. So, alright, we got it. So thank you for watching this video. Believe in the next video, when we take it to the next level, you should be able to also now use the login page to find out whether that user was really inside our database before allowing the person into our page. Like I can say the last user, and be sure first of all that Jesus is in the database or Vitalis is in the database before I go ahead. So I'm going to log out. Cool. Alright, see you in the next video. Thank you.